The orange stage at Event Tech Live 21, the world's only hybrid event technology show. We're delighted to be joined now by Nick from what3words, who's going to do a presentation all around the capabilities of the platform and a host of other things as well. A little bit of housekeeping to start with. We're using Glisser at the moment to take audience questions for both people in the room and people online. The easiest way to do that is by accessing the QR code, which can be seen over my left-hand shoulder at the moment, or alternatively you can go online to glsr.live/ETL21. We'll be running through the presentation and then hopefully we'll have some time afterwards to run through those questions. But without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nick and look forward to hearing what you've got to say.
That's great, thank you. Thank you for having me here as well here. And hello all to those online. So you may have heard of what3words already, you may have seen our TV ads, you may have seen the emergency services news, but you might not have seen that we're being used by lots of events. So interested to basically give you an overview of how we're being used by events and show you exactly how you can utilize us. Just thought it'd be interesting to give you an overview of the history of what3words and how we came about, because it's very much tied into events. So Chris, our founder, who came up with the idea in 2013, used to work in the music business. And he basically really struggled with getting musicians to the right place, whether that was the right theatre door, whether it was the right stage at a festival. And yeah, I think many of the events and kind of technologies here basically see that there's a real problem with trying to find locations in a field and trying to find the right gate or the right sort of spot within a festival site. He also then saw that it's not just a problem that's in the music industry and in the events industry, it's also an issue across the UK. So rural places don't have any addresses for people to explain that exact location. Postcodes are often very inaccurate, so they don't point people to an exact place. There's also the problem with repeat street names. So if you type in Church Road into Google Maps, that comes up many, many times in London, so it's often difficult to find the exact right one. And this is also a kind of global problem. Favelas in Brazil, townships in South Africa don't have proper addresses, so it's hard for people to talk about exactly where they are. So the system that exists already is the GPS coordinate, or when Chris came out with the idea. And basically this system is kind of universal, it's very, very accurate, but it's very hard for humans to use. So Chris tried to use GPS coordinates when he found the issues that he had with events. And basically the eureka moment that he realized that GPS coordinates don't work is when he was doing an event, a wedding in Rome. He gave the musicians the GPS coordinate and they missed out one number and delivered all the stuff, and all the musicians arrived 1 hour north of Rome, not 1 hour south. So basically he thought, how do we make the GPS coordinate more easy for humans to use? And essentially there's enough words in the dictionary to cover the whole world in unique 3-word addresses. So what we did is we took, if you take a word list of 40,000 words and you cube that, you get 64 trillion. And there's 57 trillion 3-meter squares on the planet. So therefore you've got enough combinations of 3 words to cover every single 3-meter square. So basically with that sort of algorithm and that technology, we were able to put that into our app and our map site and into our API. So you can download that for free and it works offline. And essentially what that looks like is it looks a little bit like Google Maps, but we've overlaid this grid where you can search and see 3-word addresses. So to take you an example, for the event today, there was the 3-word address, you might have seen it on the visitor info, which is Haven Method Loads. If I type that into the what3words map site, it then gives me straight onto the 3-meter square of the exact entrance. This is interesting because if you type in Truman Brewery, the pin actually drops there to the north, so you don't actually arrive at the right place. And some of you may have actually not I can see some nodding in the audience there. You can actually see often that people were wandering around actually trying to find the exact entrance, but with what3words, there's an exact 3-meter square for the exact front door, so it's easy for you to actually find that location. You can then press navigate on the app or map site, and then you can choose whatever navigation provider you want to. Another example, just very quickly, this is how Winter Wonderland are using us. They've addressed every gate with what3words. So the red gate there is at Mount Tigers Hotel. You can type that 3-word address into the app or map site. It pops up that 3-meter square there on the east side of Hyde Park, and then you can press navigate to get to that exact square. Obviously, the issue often is people might type in Winter Wonderland into Google Maps. That pinwheel might drop in the middle of Hyde Park, and it wouldn't get you to the exact gate you want to get through. Now, the reason a lot of people know about us, and the reason why millions of people now have the app in the UK, is because of emergency services. So if you ring 999, you can give a 3-word address of where you are. Over 90% of emergency services now accept what3words in their control rooms. That's basically led to a lot of press, and the article on the left was kind of a viral article for us. It was most read for sort of a day on BBC News, and the app that can save a life is quite a potent headline. This basically led to a lot of downloads, or for the last 2 years, we've been around 2 or 3 in the App Store in the navigation section. So yeah, really exciting that lots of people are now using what3words and have what3words on their phone. This then enables us to work with lots of interesting partners in very different verticals to events. So whether that's travel accommodation, things like Premier Inn, the booking confirmation there, or Mercedes cars. So a big chunk of the business is working with car companies to try and enter 3-word addresses into the sat-nav system. So you can do that if you get your booking confirmation from Premier Inn that says the 3-word address, you can then enter it into your Mercedes car. Another use case is with logistics and delivery. So if you've ever got a package delivered by Hermes, you can now put the 3-word address of exactly where you want your package delivered, whether that's a safe space, a front door if your address doesn't work. And then also ride-hailing is a big area of the business, so trying to integrate into ride-hailing apps, into Addison Lee, for example, so you can ring up Addison Lee and give a 3-word address of where you want to be picked up or dropped off. So to focus on events, basically, the big focus for us is to improve attendee experience. And the main way for that is to display what3words addresses on the website in email confirmations on tickets. So basically now with what3words, every kind of square around a large site has a 3-word address that you can point people to. So this is Ashton Gate Stadium. We did a lot of work with them for some of their sports events, but also for their vaccine rollout. They're a mass vaccination centre. And they pointed out the exact 3-word address for the vaccine entrance so that people could find it instead of arriving at the wrong place. Good example of a company that displays what3words addresses quite well is Ali Pali. As you can see here, they've got all the key locations on their website. An example there for the Palm Court entrance is Button Master Unit. If I type that in or click that address, it takes you to our map site, to that exact square, and that gets me to the right entrance that I want to get to. If you type in Alexandra Palace again into Google Maps, it drops you in the middle, and that might not be great if you want to find that exact entrance. Particularly, let's say, if you're in a wheelchair and you need to find the accessible entrance. It's not as ideal. Another example here from this year is the Chelsea Flower Show. They were having issues with their postcode, which was taking people to the wrong place. People would type that postcode into Google Maps. It wouldn't take them to the right place. Therefore, they've got, for their London gate there, the 3-word address, Parent Arena Spider, which takes people to the exactly right place. Very similar to how Ali Pali did it, O2 have also got this table on their website for all the key locations, whether that's the ticket office, the parking, the welcome desk. And again, those addresses are clickable, so you can click that address and it takes you to the what3words map site. You can also search that address in our app, or you can search it in some of our partner places like Addison Lee or Mercedes. Endurance events is a big thing for us. So this is an example from Great North Run. They included this in their pre-event guides, their emails, for things like the start line, the information point, the meeting point, the baggage. Here's the baggage address, cheese crowned update, so you exactly know where that baggage drop-off is and where you can pick up your baggage. Which you can imagine in a large event area, it's often quite difficult to find those key locations. Another big one for us is tickets, getting into the ticket confirmations. So we're working with Ticketmaster to try and encourage events to use what3words in their tickets. And then also this is how Winter Wonderland are using us. So every time you get a ticket, there's the map there with the 3-word addresses, and then also a clickable banner at the top. And then that 3-word address there, Mount Tigers Hotel, takes you to the right gate that you want to get to. Final one for attendee experience is physical signage. So both for safeties, just to make sure if someone has an accident at an event, that they can give a 3-word address of where they are, and then also for wayfinding. So this is how London Marathon used us all across the London Marathon this year. All across their physical signage, they had 3-word addresses for key locations. So that was attendee experience. We're also useful for other stuff, so planning and logistics. Very, very simply, lots of events will have lots of places that they want to indicate, whether that's gates, whether that's tower spots, whether that's the right spot for the staging, all that kind of thing. Those places don't have addresses, so therefore with what3words you can basically give a list of those locations and then also give a list of the what3words addresses so that volunteers, staff can find those places. You can then enter those 3-word addresses into the app, press navigate and exactly find those places. We're also integrated with lots of event management systems that are already actually here. So an example is OnePlan, which basically means that you can type a 3-word address into the system and discover that location. OnePlan also basically with OnePlan you can map your whole events. Because they've integrated what3words, you could download every single location from that software and then give that out to staff. So an example they were saying for Silverstone recently is Silverstone wanted all their locations, they wanted all the portaloos, all the cleaning stations. They were able to download that from the system, have the what3words addresses so that people could use them. And then safety is a big one for us. Obviously, we're being used by emergency services, but also for sort of safety management systems and safety at events. So very simply, I think one thing is just to encourage events to basically indicate that attendees can use the app if they get into trouble. So a big push for that was at Glastonbury and other similar events where to make sure that people had the app in case they got into trouble. That was, so they could speak to medical staff or they could speak to 999. Also important to indicate where the sort of medical tent was as well, because often that's very difficult to find at festivals. Also, lots of ambulances that work at events will use us. So this is how St John's Ambulance use us for every event. They basically will give this kind of info sheet to the staff for that day, and they'll put the 3-word addresses of the key locations so that people can easily find them. And then finally, we're also very keen to promote events, very keen. We've got basically a really active in-house marketing team, in-house creative team that is very keen to bring how you use what3words to life. So very happy to chat about how we can make the communications a little bit better for your event. And that's basically it. So happy to take any questions.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Nick. Really appreciate it. I know that you're going to try and ask the app in person. There is there's an online way of doing it so that people can so people can see it. So if you could scan that QR code and submit the question that way, then that'd be fantastic. I know there is a question on there already, so we'll start with that one if that's okay. I know you've mentioned in there that integration is kind of a really key part of what it is that you guys do. What further integrations do you have plans for the future in terms of increasing adoption of it and also the usability of it for events organisers and managers?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So in the non-event world, we've got a lot of progress within automotive partners, with ride-hailing partners. I can't name the names, but it's getting to a really exciting place where these big companies are looking to integrate what3words. So you can type or speak those 3-word addresses into those apps and navigation systems. In the event world, most of the work we're doing is directly with events to make sure that addresses are displayed on their website, displayed in their emails, and displayed in their confirmations. So again, can't say too much, but there are lots of big festivals that are going to be using us next year to do exactly that. But yeah, if you're going to Winter Wonderland this year, definitely look at the tickets and the website to see the addresses on there.
Yeah. Just a kind of a personal interest question, really. Is the long-term vision that it will always be free to a user? Is that how the system is constructed? Because obviously increasing adoption, it's always been free, which has been amazing. So as an event organiser myself, it's amazing to know that you've got this platform to use. Is that kind of the long-term vision as well, or?
So yeah, to use what3words will always be free for the public, and it will always be free to display a what3words address, like you guys did today to point out the entrance. The way we make money is charging businesses that need to use our API to convert a 3-word address into a coordinate. So car companies pay us, delivery companies pay us, e-commerce sites pay us to do exactly that, but it will always be free for the public and free to display.
Amazing, perfect. Sorry, did you have a question, or were you in the...
Yeah, I'll repeat it on here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, so we basically pre-assign each 3-word address to each 3 meter square, and it will never change. Main reason for that is that the system can work offline. If we had people buying squares or choosing their own squares, the system wouldn't work offline. So yeah, it's pre-assigned, it's fixed, it won't change. Yes. So we've got a language team in-house, and we've done this now in 50 languages. And basically, yeah, words in that language, let's take the French word list, for example. Easy, simple French words will be in the middle of French-speaking urban areas. The whole world is still covered in French, but more complicated, longer French words will be in the middle of rural Texas, rural Mongolia. But yeah, we've done that in 50 languages now. Exactly. So the square outside for the entrance for this event, Haven Method Loans, that has 50 addresses in each language. So see it as like 50 grids on top of the planet. English first, and then 49 others. Yeah, you could use it in English, you could use it in Mandarin. Yeah.
And they're not translations of the words
exactly.
either, are they? They're just completely separate words.
Exactly, not translations. So that we've done that shuffling to make where that language is spoken the easier words.
Okay, really interesting. One of the questions we've been asking people all day is kind of what they see the future developments of their technology being. So looking maybe 3 to 5 years ahead. What are you planning? What are the next kind of steps for what3words in your space, really?
So, yeah, I mean, the future for us basically, we basically want to become a global standard in addressing, in location. And we're probably the furthest along in the UK, where adoption is highest. We have the most users in the UK. So we want to basically crack the UK first to make sure that people can use it where they want to, whether that's in their car, in their ride-hailing app, at an event, and then basically go global and try and get this system adopted across the globe. Yeah.
Amazing, really exciting times. I think that's it for all the questions that we've got. So I would like to thank everyone who's watching online, for the people in the room, and for those of you that are here for Event Tech Live today. What3words is literally the other side of this stage, so if you want to go and find out any more information from them, then I'm sure the team there will be really happy to help you. Thank you very much for attending. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Event Tech Live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks very much.